Concerns about cases of blood clots among a handful of recipients of the AstraZeneca vaccine continue to hamper its rollout globally. Although regulators and experts say the potential side effects were extremely rare, just how significant is the risk from taking the vaccine? We speak to immunopathology specialist and Sunway University president, Professor Sibrandes Poppema.
Yeah, the AstraZeneca story was quite unfortunate because, the way different countries have been handling that. Because what is clear is that the benefits of the AstraZeneca vaccine are much, much, much higher than the risk there is. Anything you do, there's a risk. If you take an anti-conception pill for women, the risk of getting thrombosis is much, much, much higher than from this vaccine. Still, lots of people are doing that. So you have to keep that in mind. And perhaps if it comes to the AstraZeneca one, for instance, we know for sure that for senior citizens, it's completely safe. That one side effect, very, very infrequent, maybe 1 in 100,000 or maybe even less, because, in the UK, millions of people have been vaccinated, and I think they had 7 cases. So it's very unusual, but yes, there is an entity with thrombosis and loss of platelets, and that's special, and it probably most likely has to do with the vaccine, but it's so infrequent that the benefits far outweigh the risk. And when you really think about the risks we are willing to take, with all sorts of other drugs and so on, it really is not logical to not use this vaccine. And the other side of the story is, if people are not willing to use this vaccine, there are plenty of other ones for that target group of young women. So give them another vaccine and, and use the AstraZeneca for senior citizens and so on.
At present, the mechanism by which the AstraZeneca vaccine could cause clotting problems remains unclear.
We don't know yet. We don't know whether it does have to do with hormonal levels. When it's specific to women, that's the first thing you think, but that's not been proven. But that's quite possible. And if you have to think about a mechanism, because always with side effects, people think about all sorts of things, side effects. There has to be a mechanism. In this case, what we know is that in any infection you have, so also after vaccination, you get the stimulus of the immune response, which will make clotting just a little bit more likely. So it can be just, putting something over the edge. But the most important thing is we do not yet know the mechanism. We do know now how to treat it, because that's been found out. Initially the first patients, they were treated with heparin, which was exactly the wrong thing to do. So now they know better how to treat them. I think less people, first of all, people will, come to the physician much earlier, and they now know better how to treat them. Same thing with, we now know better how to treat patients with COVID than we knew 1 year ago. We now already, after a couple of weeks, know much better how to treat people with this side effect than we did before.